On your whiteboard, please tell me who are my 3 Soviet leaders, please, in order. Who are my 3 Soviet leaders in order, please? Good. Who are they, Autumn?
Lenin, Stalin,
On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the gentleman who led the Indian independence from England? What is the name of the dude who led the Indian independence from England? Who is it, Cynthia? Gandhi. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is Gandhi's word for nonviolence? No. It's passive resistance. Good. What is it? Emerson. Ahisma. What is the term for passive resistance? See the difference? Rod. What is it, Blake? Sounds good to me. What?
So you said that there's more than one Gandhi, but it's Soviet maybe just said Gandhi.
There's a couple people throughout history you can just throw down Gandhi. Like, Gandhi's his last name, so it works. We're going to have another Gandhi. We're going to make sure we include his first name on that one. Gandhi, Mao, I'm totally fine. Napoleon, you can use their first names and all that stuff. I'm totally fine with that. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called when the United States believes that communism and capitalism cannot exist, and it dramatically increases the tension. It's created by Eisenhower. Good. What is it? Morgan. Domino effect. On your whiteboard, please tell me Mao Zedong takes power from who? Mao Zedong takes power from who? Good. Who is it? Nate. Jiang Jiechi. On your whiteboard, what is the closest the United States and Russia got to war? Good. What is it, Annie? On your whiteboard, please tell me the Korean War ends where? Good. Bella. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the Soviet reaction to NATO? Good. Bobby. On your whiteboard, please tell me who is the Cuban leader who leads the communist revolution? Good. Rod.
Fidel Castro.
Castro. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the U.S. intrusion in Cuba called? Good. What is it, Devin?
Bay of Pigs.
Bay of Pigs. On your whiteboard, Bay of Pigs fails because of what? Good, Sophia. No air support. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of, who's the dude who starts de-Stalinization? Good. What is it, Evan? Khrushchev. When Hungary revolts, what's the fancy term we call for that? Autumn, thank you for organizing. Good. What is it? Philip. Frog Spring. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name, how many ways is Germany divided? Good. It's kind of a crappy question to end on, but here we are. What is it, Payne? 4. Who can raise your hand and tell me where we left off exactly, please? Colton.
The biggest problem in India is you have no powers and use them.
Perfect. So, in India, the biggest problem today in 2019, which is the same problem they had in 1937 when they started this process, was who is going to be more powerful, the Hindus or the Muslims? So, because of that, we're going to have 2 options. The first option, which you're going to write down, is the one-state plan. The one-state plan is created by Gandhi. The one-state plan is created by Gandhi that says Hindus and Muslims will live together in India. The one-state plan is that Muslims and Hindus will live together in India peacefully. That's plan number 1. Then we have the 2-state plan. The 2-state plan. which is created by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, which is in the front, by the way, at the bottom. Muhammad Ali Jinnah creates the two-state plan. Two-state plan says Muslims will create the country of Pakistan, and Hindus will keep India. So, the two-state plan is created by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, whose name's in the front. He says that the Muslims are going to create a new state called Pakistan, while the Hindus will take control over India. Who wins? Muhammad Ali Jinnah beats Gandhi and he gets his way. So, Muhammad Ali Jinnah is going to come up with a two-state plan that says Pakistan should be created for the Muslims and India can be controlled by the Hindus. Muhammad Ali Jinnah is going to win. He's going to defeat Gandhi in this. Now, you're going to put a little star. You're going to write. Gandhi is killed by a Hindu extremist. There you go. Gandhi is killed by a Hindu extremist, which lays the path for Muhammad Ali Jinnah to get what he wants. What do you got, Morgan? He's a Hindu. Yeah, he's a Hindu. Yeah, because he wasn't, because Gandhi wanted a one state where they were together. The Hindu extremes wanted all the Muslims out, which is why they promoted the two state.
Lead the path to?
Led the path to Muhammad Ali Jinnah to get what he wanted. What?
If Muhammad Ali kind of influenced, like, say, get rid of him.
No, I don't think so. Everyone at this point, you have to understand, it's like, okay, so Gandhi is like George Washington in the American Revolution, right? He's going to lead it. No one after the American Revolution is going to be talking shit about George Washington. Can we agree? Even if you don't agree with everything George Washington did, like John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and all these people, does anyone talk shit about George Washington? No, because of what he did. So this was just a wackadoodle. And the funny thing is, Gandhi had an interview that morning, and he was like, you know what, everyone's time comes to an end, and I know my time is ending. And he gets shot like an hour later. That's crazy. That's crazy. China, here we go. This stuff's hard. Okay, China. Now, please listen before you write anything else down. All of these sections, we're going to go back to World War I and build our way back. Does that make sense? Because we're in two different chapters. We just finished Cold War, now we're in decolonization. So the timing isn't all perfectly lined up. Is everyone clear on that? So, you're going to write, the Qing dynasty is removed from China in the Revolution of 1911. Qing dynasty is removed from China in the Revolution of 1911. Okay, so in 1911, the last dynastic ruler leaves China. He goes to Taiwan, then comes to New York City and goes to Studio 54 and dies. Like, after a while, but like, isn't that funny? Can you imagine being like Emperor of China and just dancing, disco dancing? No? Okay, in my head that's funny. Moving forward. Sun Yat-sen will rise into power and call China the People's Republic, the Republic of China. So Sun Yat-sen is going to rise into power and call China the Republic of China. Okay? You need to know that after he takes power, it's chaos. It's not unified. It's all over the place. Okay. Under his rule, we have something called the May 4th movement. You need to know this. Put a star next to it. It's a big deal. The May 4th movement is going to be led by students and intellectuals to protest foreign interference. Now keep in mind, this is in 1912. This is before World War I. So our spheres and influence is happening. Yes, you need to understand that. This is in 1912. Spheres of influence. The English, the French, the Germans, the Japanese, the Russians, everyone's there. So the May 4th movement is by students and intellectuals who protest foreign interference. You need to put another little star next to this and says it's also going to promote communism. The introduction of communism is really going to happen at the May 4th movement. because of the May 4th movement, Mao Zedong is going to start rising. Okay, because of the May 4th movement, Mao Zedong starts rising in power. Which we obviously know is going to be a big thing. Now, after the May 4th movement, just listen. You don't have to write this down unless you want to. After the May 4th movement, communism is pretty popular. So what is people in China going to start doing? Adopting more communism, correct? Well, Sun Yat-sen is going to die. Write that down. You need to know that. Sun Yat-sen dies and is replaced by Jiang Jiechi. Sun Yat-sen is going to die and is replaced by Jiang Jiechi. Jiang Jiechi is going to try to remove all extreme communists from China. As soon as he gets into power, he wants to remove all extreme communists from China. Guess who's on that list? Mao is on that list. So, Jiang Jiechi is going to try to remove all the extreme. Now, is he anti-communism? No, he just wants to get the wackadoodles out. So, what he does is that he takes all the wackadoodles, all of your extreme communists, and sends them on a long march. You need to know that this is a huge deal. So, Jiang Jiechi is going to send all of your extreme communists on a long march, including Mao. Now, on that walk, you don't have to write this down, but you're going to write something down here in a second. On that walk, Mao starts writing down his thoughts and opinions. When they get 6,000 miles away, he's going to get those ideas published, and it is going to be the most popular book in China today. It's called the Red Book. It's written by Mao during his long walk. So, Mao is going to write a book about the Long March, which will allow him to be the most popular man in China. So write that down. The Long March will serve as the topic of Mao's book, which will make him be the most powerful man in China once it's published. So guess who loses power because of the long walk? Jiang Jiechi. Yes, sir. So who is Mao's biggest rival? Yeah, for sure. He sent him on a walk, man. Okay, so you need to understand Jiang Jiechi is going to come into power. He's not anti-communist, he's just anti-extreme communist. So he gathers all the wackadoodles together and says, go that way. And all the wackadoodles start walking. Then Mao is like, let me write down my thoughts about this. Oh my God, let me write down my thoughts about this. So he gets there, publishes his book. Everyone in China reads his book. Everyone loves him. So obviously, what's eventually going to happen? Mao is going to overthrow Jiang Jiechi, and we know that. So if you want to write, Mao will eventually overthrow Jiang Jiechi, and he's going to go to Taiwan. What?
What was Jiechi trying to accomplish by saying this much? Like just get rid of him?
Well, yeah, I mean, just like there's extremes of both the Republican and the Democratic parties right now, correct? Would we say the extremes of both parties are good representations of the United States? I mean, think about your march on Charlottesville last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Who knows? That was the alt-right. Are we saying that that represents conservatives today in the United States? No, absolutely not. And we have the Antifa on the left. Does Antifa represent the ideas of the Democratic Party? No, those are the extremes. If we could get rid of both of those sections, I mean, it's obviously we live in a democracy, so we would never do that, but wouldn't life be a little bit easier theoretically if we got rid of both of those set fractions? Yes, but we can't because we're a democracy and they can have their opinion, so do you. All right, what? Japan's your heading, by the way.
Did Young force them to, or was it like, hey, let's
Sweetie, why do you think you think you're going to pack up all of your shit, make your kids go with you, and you're going to be happily walk 6,215 miles? No, he was forced by gunpoint. Here we go, Imperial Japan. So, like I told you, hold on. Like I told you, we're going to start back at World War I and work our way forward, yes? So, post-World War I, Japan was unsupervised. Post-World War I, Japan was unsupervised and began imperializing. Now, who can raise their hand and tell me why Japan is imperializing when no other Asian country is imperializing? What is the difference here? Cynthia? They wanted to industrialize? No. Colton? They're the only one industrialized, so they need the materials. Does that make sense? I just want to make sure people, they're already industrialized. Yeah, no. Yeah, they're industrialized. So, you need to know that they're imperializing. You need to know the Mukden incident. It's a big one. Put a star next to it. So what happens is Japanese soldiers sneak into Manchuria, plant a bomb on a Japanese building. So Japanese soldiers sneak into Manchuria, plant a bomb at a base of a Japanese building and blow it up. Then Japan's like, oh my God, I can't believe you bombed us. This justifies Japan's invasion of Manchuria. So, Japan, huh? No, not yet, because this is in 1931. They don't take it until 1931. Remember, we started back in World War I and we're building forward. Okay, so the Mukden incident is how Japan gets Manchuria. This is the first official act of World War II, by the way. Remember, it avoids the Treaty of Versailles. Does everyone give a shit about it, though? No one says a damn thing about it. So who's watching Japan and seeing that Japan got away with Manchuria, so they're like, ha, I'm going to do it. Who goes next? No. Hitler is not happening next. Mussolini. Who can raise their hand and tell me what Mussolini does? As soon as he sees that no one's checking Japan. Josh. He goes to Ethiopia. And why does he go to Ethiopia, Josh? There you go. So, who's watching Mussolini get away with invading Ethiopia, Kylie? Hitler. And at that point, it is important that you are making these connections and seeing. I know, that was the happiest Hitler I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You need to be making these connections. So the Mukden incident is what gets Japan into Manchuria. They use this as an excuse to full-on invade. Okay? No one checks it at the League of Nations. No one cares. Next thing is Africa is your next heading. Actually, I want to check your boards on China. China's hard. All right, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me, who are my 3 Chinese rulers post-Qing in order? Who are my 3 Chinese leaders in order? Post-Qing. Good. Who are they, Colton?
Sun Yat-sen, Yang, and Mao.
There you go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what event is going to bring communism to more of the forefront in China. No. Communism is already full-blown there. What do we got? Bella. May 4th movement. On your whiteboard, what event is going to remove extreme communists and allow Mao to rise in popularity? Good. What is it, Bobby? The Long March. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the name of the ruler who does the Long March? Good. No. He's on it. He's doing it, but he doesn't set it into motion. Philip. Zhang Jieshi. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what year does the last emperor of the Qing fall? What do you got?
Is it actually called the Long March? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the Long March. What is it, William? 1911. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what is the incident where Japanese soldiers march into Manchuria, blow up a building, and say, oh my God, Manchuria, you bombed us. I can't believe this is happening. What is it? Evan. Perfect. Here we go. Africa is your heading. Okay, in Africa, you need to know, post World War I, post-World War I, Africa gains prestige because of their fighting in World War I. Okay, they gained some prestige because of their fighting in World War I. They did a really great job, and it made European countries be like, damn, okay, Africa, I see you. Second thing you need to know, post-World War I, Africans got used to killing white people. Because who was killing people before? White people were killing Africans before, and now Africans are getting used to killing white people. Okay, so this is going to cause big problems for white people. Don't worry, at this point, they kind of deserve it. Can we agree? With the things they've done in Africa, the terrible destruction they've done, the stealing of resources, the fact they've just been murdering for about 150 years in Africa. So we're going to see that. Okay, another thing you need to know is a guy named Jomo Kenyatta. Okay, now Jomo Kenyatta is going to earn Kenya's independence. Okay, he is incredibly brilliant. You need to know that. He's going to argue the law. He's brilliant in British law. Kenya, and you don't have to write this part down, but Kenya and the British Crown today are super friendly. Both William and Harry proposed to their wives there. They go there all the time. Kenya is like the third most visited country by the Queen of England in her time period because there was very little bloodshed in the independence of Kenya. What happened is there was a little bit of a scuffle. Then your boy, Jomo Kenyatta, comes up and he goes to England and stands in front of Parliament and he argues that this is wrong by British law so well, the British government are like, well, shit. And they kind of give them their independence really that kind of easily, which is really impressive. So imagine how smart you need to be to convince that many people to let you go. Can we agree? It's never happened before. It will never happen again. That's how brilliant this man is. What?
What year was this?
They're going to get their independence in like 51 or 52.
So this is before or after
After what?
This is before or after
Gandhi. Oh, this is in Africa, so.
Yeah, but like, I'm saying, like, was it like, tried to say what Gandhi was saying?
No, it's not passive resistance. No, they have a little bit of a scuffle, but he's just so smart. He doesn't want to waste the lives. Like Gandhi, he didn't want to fight because he knew he couldn't. So he went there and argued he's that bright. You need to know Marcus Garvey creates an idea called Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism, that Africa should unite all together, and that all Africans who have skills, talents, intelligence should come back to Africa and rebuild the home motherland. So, Marcus Garvey starts this idea of Pan-Africanism, that all Africans all around the world, Brazil, Jamaica, the United States, anyone who is educated, has ideas, should come back to Africa and rebuild the motherland. It has caught on. It's kind of still a thing today, actually. If you see people, they're typically wearing black wood beads or plastic beads, and then they have like an Africa medallion kind of on it. It's made out of wood usually or plastic. It's kind of this whole Garveyan belief system that go back home and rebuild the motherland, because by building up the motherland, you make all of its descendants better. Like, we're better because we're Americans. Did I do anything awesome in my life? No, I'm a high school history teacher, for God's sake, okay? However, because my descendants fought in the American Revolution and did all these incredible things, am I a better person because of it? Yeah, I'm now of value, so that's what the whole thing is about. Okay, Latin America, here we go. Okay, you need to know that Latin America begins protesting against American intrusion. Keep in mind, this is right around the Monroe Doctrine. Who can raise their hand and tell me how the Monroe Doctrine talks about intrusion? What's the connection here? We got to be making these connections here. Nathan.
Wasn't it we are legally allowed to step in if anything happens to South Africa?
South America, but yeah. There. South Africa's British, that would be a whole damn thing. Yes. Okay, so you need to know that post-World War I, the United States makes up most of Latin America's economy. Is that good for them? Is that good for us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We benefit real well. So, you need to know the idea of neo-colonialism, which is right here. Neo-colonialism, put a big star next to it. It is preferred by the United States. And you're going to put Taft, because President Taft is the guy who really loves it. So neocolonialism is preferred by the United States, really sharpened by Taft, and this is what it is. Neocolonialism is when the U.S. invests large amounts of money in a company in order to control the prices to benefit the United States. It has two nicknames, dollar diplomacy, also Yankee imperialism. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what is the name of the largest provider of bananas in the world?
United Fruit Company.
United Fruit Company, which originally was called the Chiquita Banana Company, but we're going to change it when we take over it. So the Chiquita Banana Company was importing. Have you ever looked at prices at the grocery store and ever said, how does that only cost 89 cents? Like bananas, no bananas grow in the United States. You have to import them from the equator, which means Latin America and north of South America. That's the only places to get them. Bananas cost 89 cents a pound if they're organic, 65 cents a pound if they're not organic. Do you think it only costs that much to import that many bananas here? No. So what happens is the United States government bought into the Chiquita Banana Company. So the owners of that company, were they excited about it? Yeah, look at all this money we're getting. Hell yeah. So of course they accept. So the United States gets into the business, and then we're like, you know what? Let's drop these prices. And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. And they're like, I own most of the company at this point. You don't have a chance. So what they're going to do is they're going to drop the prices. Is this good or bad for Latin America? Bad. Is this good or bad for the United States? Good. So we drop the prices to benefit the United States. What happens in Latin America, they're going to have poor wages, okay, and no control over their companies. Oops. Okay? So this is going to allow the United States to exploit countries completely. Okay? It is a very effective system. We do it a lot. We've done it a lot. Chiquita Banana Company is a perfect example of it. Okay? So we're also going to create something called the Good Neighbor Policy in Latin America. Now, if it's called the Good Neighbor Policy, do you really think it's a good neighbor policy? Because when someone calls himself a good neighbor, you know they're a terrible neighbor. We know that, right? Okay, so the Good Neighbor Policy, you need to write this down, is created by FDR. What do you got, Annie? You got a question?
Yeah, do we still do that?
Yes, we do.
Today?
Yes, we do.
Are you sure?
Yes. We're not supposed to. But yes, we do.
Supposed to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can understand that this is tastefully wrong. We buy interest in a company in order to benefit our own country, not theirs, yes? Have you ever seen the symbols called free trade?
Yeah.
On stuff? Free trade exists to stop American imperialism in Latin America. Because we bought in and subsidized these companies, okay, we're going to drop the price for Americans. So free trade means Americans are making money, not Latin America is making companies. So free trade means Latin America is now making money off coffee, for instance, and American companies are making profit. That's what it's about. It's about compensating for neocolonialism. Fun fact. Good Neighbor Policy says the United States can interfere in another country's politics if those politics are anti-U.S. So, say in Bolivia, for instance, there is a new rising star, political star in Bolivia who says the United States are abusing their power in our Bolivian companies. They are taking our profits and our money to give Americans discounts, hurting us. Does that make a lot of sense? Is that what's happening? Yes. So, naturally, what we do is that there's another guy who's competing against that guy and says, no, the United States is great. The more investment for the United States, the better it is. So who do we send our money to? That guy. Oh, and we've also sent military teams. That guy who complained against us in Bolivia died in a car accident. I can't believe it either. Crazy things happen. Okay, those are the types of things that are going to happen with the Good Neighbor Policy because we want to ensure Latin American policies are pro-U.S. You're going to want to write that down. It ensures Latin American policies are pro-U.S. Because do we want Latin American companies to stop letting us invest? No, we do not. So we need to make sure they're positive towards us. Now, one thing that is going to be effective is that Mexico is going to nationalize its oil companies in order to prevent American investment. So they nationalize it, which means the Mexican government controls oil industry, so Americans can invest in it. Because if Americans were investing in it, what would we do?
Take it over.
We would take it over and we would make sure American oil prices are low and no one in Mexico is benefiting from it. Okay? Congrats, we finished content.
Yeah.
So Mexico is going to nationalize its oil industry to prevent American investment, to make sure they stay in control of it. Here we go on your whiteboard. Let's go. How much time do I have? Perfect. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is the name of the U.S. president who is pro-neocolonialism. Good. Who is it? Madison Morgan. Oh, you need to know that the leader of North Korea, the first leader of North Korea is Ho Chi Minh. Like Ho, H-O, space C-H-I, space M-I-N-H. Ho Chi Minh. He is your leader of North Korea. First leader of North Korea. Now we have Kim Jong-un. He's like the fourth leader of North Korea. Third or fourth? Can't remember. Anyway, goodbye. Oh my goodness. I have to do that.